So thank you for joining me on today's Bible Byte. What is your favorite thing to eat? Are you thinking about it right now? I really hope so. Maybe you're even checking the fridge. Or maybe you're thinking, I am going to go to the store after I watch this and I am going to buy my favorite thing to eat. Now, we love food. We love it a lot. And it sometimes we love it a little too much. But if you want to know how food and hunger, for that matter, relate to our walk with God, thank you again for joining me today. Now, we're going to be going over the fourth beatitude in Matthew 5. If you want to know what the other three beatitudes are, I would encourage you to go watch my other videos on the Great Commission Alliance Media channel on YouTube. But today we're specifically going to be focusing on Matthew 5:6. And Matthew 5:6 says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled." So, have you ever gone several days without food? Now, I'm not talking about one meal or one day. I'm talking about several days. What you begin to find is that you become obsessed with food. You want to eat it at all times. Even just looking at it makes you hunger for it. You just want it. And your ability to smell increases, and it's just like a whole new experience. This type of hunger is a whole new experience. Now, on the flip side of the coin, it's very good to have a healthy appetite, but if you don't have a healthy appetite, if you're not having hunger, that is a serious problem. It's a sign of not being healthy. And so Jesus here in this passage is telling us that we need to be continually healthy, or continually hungering and thirsting for righteousness. So that means if we're not having a healthy appetite for righteousness, then something is seriously wrong with our spiritual life. Now, Jesus was talking to people who knew what it meant to be hungry, and they knew what it meant to be thirsty. They were poor, and so they didn't have money to eat all the time. And they were surrounded by desert, and so they knew what it meant to be thirsty. So Jesus is using this metaphor of hunger and thirst to describe what we need to have in our spiritual life. This type of hunger and desire for righteousness. Now, what is righteousness? Righteousness is having the right actions, having the right thoughts, and having the right feelings. Now, as humans, we find that this is pretty near impossible. Sometimes you can do it, but a lot of times you fail miserably at one of the three, pretty much all day long. So we find this is nearly impossible. But Jesus says that we are to hunger and thirst for it. And then he says that we will be filled. Now, hungering and thirsting for righteousness kind of goes hand in hand with the second beatitude, which was to mourn over our sin. But instead of being obsessed with the bad things we've done in life, that doesn't help us. We need to hunger and thirst, be obsessed for living the right way. Now, Jesus tells us that he is going to fill us. So he's going to accomplish this through us. But how do we go about doing this? And what does that mean? Now, over and over again, the Bible is talking about walking by faith in Christ. It says that the righteous will live by faith. It also says that you cannot be righteous by obeying the law. So you cannot be righteous by just trying to do good things. You can only be righteous by faith in Christ alone. And in fact, over and over again, Jesus says that he is the bread of life, that he is the living water. Also, in the Old Testament, the Old Testament tells us, "Come, taste and see that the Lord is good." And in Isaiah 55, 1 through 2, it says, "Come, all you who are thirsty, come to the waters. And you who have no money, come buy and eat. Come buy wine and milk, without money and without cost. Why spend money on what is not bread, and your labor on what does not satisfy? Listen to me and eat what is good, and you will delight in the richest of fare." So God is telling us, come to him. Have faith in him, and he will provide what you need. He will satisfy you. He will fill you and satisfy that hunger and that thirst. Because the thing is that we're going to be hungry for something. We're either going to be hungry for him or hungry for what is not him, what isn't good. And when we are hungry for things other than him, we can think of that as spiritual junk food. And when we're hungering for him, we can think of that as what's the right thing to eat. But how many times in life, when you, in real life, and when you're eating, would you, a lot of times when I'm given the option of junk food versus eating a carrot, I'll choose junk food every time. And that is the problem in life, is a lot of times we're not seeking after God. We're not hungering for him. And so that is also a sign of not being spiritually healthy. So my encouragement to you is, if you're finding yourself not hungering after him and his righteousness, I would encourage you, go to him. He is really the only one that can satisfy this longing that you have in your soul, this longing for satisfaction. He is the only one that can fill you and give you what you need spiritually. So I would encourage you, seek more after him, learn about him, trust in him. He will do what he promised, and he promises to fill you. And if you have never given your life to Christ, I would really encourage you to come to him. He does satisfy you like nothing else will ever do in your life. Thank you so much for listening today. If you want to see more of what Great Commission Alliance is doing, you can check out our YouTube channel at Great Commission Alliance Media Channel. Thank you so much.